Guys, we have this expression, rational expression to simplify, beautiful problem here, okay? So which is what? Open parenthesis, -3 times m power 5 times n power -1 all raised to the third power, divided by m times n, the whole raised to the second power. So as we've seen bases, that means the base is like 3 or -3 and then m and n with powers. We also have powers outside the parentheses. So that means there's a rule, power rules that we're going to use here, which is what? So that is, if we come here, that is if we have x power m raised to the n power, that is equal to x m times n. Okay, so we keep this one in mind. All right, so let's go. So then what's happening here is that we're going to have to remove the parentheses by using this rule on this side. But once we go inside the parentheses, what do we see? We have negative sign there. If we did have a positive sign, we have no worries. But because we have a negative sign, we got to worry. That means what are we going to do with it? Now, it will act, the power will act upon it. Meaning that if the power is an even number, that means 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, for example, this sign becomes a positive sign. But because this one is an odd number, so what's going to happen? The negative sign stays. Okay? So the negative sign stays in this case because this one is power 3. Everybody good so far? All right, let's continue. So what about the 3 here? The base here is 3. What's the power for the 3? It's an invisible one. Any number or letter that does not have a power has an invisible one automatically. So now we're going to apply the rule here. So we're going to multiply. So we have 1 times 3. So that would be 3 to the third power. You with me? Okay. And then m, which already has a 5 as power, so it's supposed to be 5 times 3. So that would be 5 times 3. So we write it down. And then n, this is -1 times 3 as well. So then this is over. What's happening to m and n? This also an invisible one and an invisible one. So that means you end up with m 1 times 2, okay? And then n 1 times 2. So I'm just taking time here to clarify certain things. That's why I'm writing all of this, okay? So now let's go for it. So we have -3 to the third power. So the negative sign is back again. But now what is 3 to the third power? It's 3 by 3, which is 9 by 3, which is 27. The common mistake that people make is what? They think that 3 times 3, that will give us 9. No. So it's 3 to the third power. So that will give us what? 27. And then m, 5 times 3 is what? 15. And then n, -1 times 3 is going to give us what? -3. And then this one is divided by what? m, 1 times 2 is 2. And then n 1 times 2, which is 2. Okay, so far so good. Then what's the next thing to do is to combine like terms. -27 has nobody to play with, right? But this one here, we got to combine them. And then this one too, we got to combine them. That means what? So if we come here, all right, so this will be equal to, so the -27 is back. And now we have m to the 15th power and to the m to the second power at the bottom. So we're going to move the lowest power to the largest one. So 2 got to go to the 15. And whenever you move either up or down, the sign of the power has to change to the opposite automatically. So that means what? We're going to have m 15 minus 2. All right? Now when it comes to the n, what's happening here? This is -3 and 2. Which one is lower? Is -3. Because -3 is lower, so that one will go down. Okay, again, we're moving the lowest power to the largest power. Move the lowest power to the largest. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So once we get back here, so what's happening? So for the n,